Welcome back to your Caribou Data Science channel. Today is Tuesday, March 30th, 2021. I'm getting ready to, the hot topic in the last week on the internet and the IT world is, of course, was Google's new data analytic certificate program. Well, I'll mention in all fairness that both IBM and Microsoft also have data analytics certification programs. But anyway, so this program was announced about a week ago, I think. Okay. And the question is this enough to get a job? Is this enough to get a job? Well, the short answer is yes and no. Okay. The short answer is that that depends on the market in your area. That's the first most important thing. What's the market in your area like? You have to have hot skills in a hot market to get a job, and data analytics certainly is one of the hottest skills around right now. Okay. Now, let's scroll down, and take a look at something else you talk about. They're saying on average $67,900 annual wages for someone with a certificate, 337,400 jobs. Now, as far as wages, again, that's going to depend on the market and your location. Let me give you an example. Back in the late 1990s and early 20s, that means 21, leading up to 2009/11, I was making in Colorado as a tier 2 Unix support person $32 an hour. I had no formal training in Unix. I got the job because I taught myself the Linux operating system. When I came back to Ohio, the same position only paid $15 an hour. Between Colorado and Ohio, I lost $15 an hour. Okay, and you have to be aware of that. Okay. The other thing is, are you willing to change jobs in order to get this salary? The simple fact of the matter is, you get the certificate, you may get a job within your current company, okay, but unless you're making $60,000 a year, they're not going to bump you. If you're making $35,000, $40,000 a year, as I say, a help desk IT support person, guess what? They're not going to bump you up to 67. They're not going to bump you from 35 to 40,000 up to $67,000 a year when they give you a new job. You probably say, we know policy is only 5% raise. So what do you do at that point? Well, you still have no experience. Okay. You could use your certificate to continue to look for a new job. Okay. One question to ask yourself: how much money do you have to make to jump from one company to another? I would say nothing less than $10,000 more than you're making right now. But you can say, you know what? I'm making $40,000. I'm not going to jump for less than 50. And the company says, well, how much do you want? I want $50,000 a year. Okay. But again, your wages are going to depend on the market. Uh, High demand areas probably also have higher costs of living, like Silicon Valley, for instance. Okay. Now let's look at this number here as far as as this job listing. What did you go out to all the job sites, scrape all the job sites, look for everything that said your data analyst? Okay, maybe. But the point I want to make: this may not mean 337,400 jobs, individual job openings. Okay, let me show you what I mean here. Let's go to an old favorite, which is Monster Boards. All right, I did a search for data analyst in Columbus, Ohio, and I'll say just to clarify, there's two ways you can work for a company. You can work as a direct hire as an employee, or you can work as a contractor. And in my experiences, I worked as a contract. I worked for a company called Tech Systems as a contractor at IBM sites. Okay, so I was not an IBM employee. I was an employee of Tech Systems. Now, in terms of wages, my experience again is that contractors make more money than employees, make more per hour, sometimes $5 to $10 more an hour than an employee. But employees get much better benefits. Okay, so if you're in a situation where you need good benefits, well, you have a decision to make. Okay, now let's get back to the question of total jobs. Out of these 301 jobs, how many of them are duplicate postings? Well, we know this one here. is let's see, summary, description, performing evaluation, support for complex cases of a high dollar. Now, now this says workers' compensation, so this could be either a contract or you could be working with, say, the state of Ohio. But for the sake of argument, let's say this is a contractor. Okay, we know this. We know this is a direct to hire because it has a company name there. So you come down here, and this looks like a contractor because of its title, Intelligent Tech. Okay, so we have 1, 2 direct hires, 1 car tech, 2 contractors based on them. So what this means is, but see, these 2 contracts here could be for the same position. So out of 4 jobs, you really only have 3 openings. And it could be, depending on your market, it could be 3 or 4 contractors competing for this job. So all of a sudden, instead of 301 jobs in Ohio, you down to what, 150, or maybe only 75. And now you're competing with other people who are for the same job. But don't let that scare you away. Okay, don't let that scare you away from the certificate. Okay, very important. You know, let's come back over here briefly also. Okay, when you come up here, you come down and you say, let's take a look here. They're saying so far 51,977 people have enrolled. Okay, let's say 45,000 actually complete the program. Well, now you know this means you're going to be competing against 45,000 people with the same certificate at this point. Now, again, that shouldn't keep you from enrolling. If this is something you're passionate about, I think that this certificate is probably still a good place to start. Okay, because the cost is relatively low, say, compared to a college education. Taking a class at a university. I mean, I don't know, you may spend the total course may amount to, say, a month worth of a semester's worth of tuition at a state college, for instance. Okay, so you just have to be aware that you're not the only one out there. The question is, how many of these people live in Central Ohio? Okay, uh, so we're going from 307,000 jobs with the potential of 51,977 people within the next 3 to 6 months coming on the job market. Okay, and that's the point. Now the second point is, I want to suggest also that it's not either the data certificate or a college education. Okay, you could, for instance, get the certificate and then get a job with a nice company and then convince them to pay for part of your tuition. Okay, or if you have both, I would say, I haven't been to college, but based on what I've seen people conversations on like YouTube and stuff like and Facebook, is a lot of colleges don't really do a good job of teaching our programming or data analytics. It tends to be more statistical based. Okay, you could benefit a lot from this program just in learning how to manage and run data analytics projects. And in the case of this, our programming. I will also mention, in the interest of full disclosure, that both IBM and who's the other one? Microsoft also have data analytics certificates of their own. Now, which one is more valuable? That's a matter of a question. I will point out that if you're interested in Python, you may want to go with the IBM certificate. On the other hand, you can never have too many tools in your toolbox. Okay, so you have Python now, but you do this and you can add R. Okay, so there's that possibility. There is some financing available. Uh, I sort of looked at, I decided probably wouldn't qualify, but again, I hope this has provided some information for you. I will state at this point, I am planning on signing up. There is a 7-day free trial period. It's $40 a month after that. So I'm going to take a look. I'm going to take 5 days to look at a 7-day period, and make a decision as to how I feel about the certificate program. And if I like it, I will sign up and I will complete the certificate over the next 3 to 6 months. Okay. So again, I hope this has been helpful to you, helpful and also very encouraging to you that you can get a job with nothing more than a certificate. It's just that the wages may not be as high as what you expect, but nonetheless, you have to start someplace. And finally, are you willing to change jobs in order to get that $20,000 raise? Are you willing to move to a different city or a different state? Again, that's all for now. I'll be doing daily blogs. I'll be doing blogs of my experiences with this program right here. Okay. So thanks so much for your time. I hope this does provide you with some encouragement, to step out in faith and really add some hard skills to your resume. Okay. Thank you so much for stopping by. We'll catch you in a day or two with the first blog update of my Google Data Analytics Professional Certificate program. Thank you so much. We'll catch you later on.